Energy conservation. You avoid extra work. You take the easier route. You conserve effort whenever possible. Everyone calls you lazy, like it's a character flaw that needs fixing. Sounds familiar, right? But here's the truth. Your body is doing exactly what evolution programmed it to do. Energy conservation isn't laziness, it's survival optimization. Humans evolved in environments where calories were scarce, and survival required strategic energy management. Your brain alone uses 20% of your total energy, despite being only 2% of your body weight. That's massive. Every unnecessary action burns fuel you might need later. Lazy people instinctively protect their mental and physical reserves, avoiding the energy drain of pointless tasks. Athletes call this periodization, strategic rest between efforts. Your body's doing the same thing automatically. Bill Gates once said he'd hire a lazy person to do a difficult job because they'll find an easy way to do it. That's not a joke about work ethic. It's recognition that energy-conscious people naturally optimize. They don't waste motion on tasks that don't move the needle. Think about it. Your ancestors who burned energy unnecessarily didn't survive famines. The ones who conserved? They're why you're here. So next time someone calls you lazy for avoiding extra steps, tell them you're conserving cognitive bandwidth. You're not unmotivated, you're efficient. You're working exactly how humans were designed to work. Efficiency optimization. You're always looking for the shortcut, the faster method, the way to skip unnecessary steps. People say you're cutting corners, like you're cheating somehow. Nope. You're doing what every successful system does, removing waste and maximizing output. Your brain runs cost-benefit analysis on every action. When effort feels high and reward feels low, you naturally seek alternatives. This is how automation was invented. This is why assembly lines exist. Lazy thinking identifies friction points that hard workers just power through without questioning. Toyota's entire manufacturing philosophy, lean production, is built on this principle. Eliminate steps that don't add value. That's not laziness. That's engineering. Programmers have a saying, "I'm not lazy. I'm just highly motivated to do nothing." They'll spend 3 hours automating a task that takes 5 minutes daily because over time, the math works. One engineer automated his entire job and didn't tell anyone for years. He just collected paychecks while his scripts did the work. That's lazy brain optimization in action. The most efficient systems in the world were designed by people who refused to do things the hard way. Amazon's entire warehouse system, built by people looking for shortcuts. Self-checkout machines, lazy innovation. That shortcut you found? That's not cheating. That's innovation in its earliest form. You're not avoiding work. You're redesigning it. High ROI thinking. You refuse to brute force your way through problems. You sit there thinking instead of just grinding away. People call it overthinking or procrastination, but here's what's actually happening. You're hunting for leverage. The one action that solves multiple problems at once. High-effort people solve problems linearly. One task, one result. Lazy brains hate inefficiency, so they search for multipliers. The single move that cascades into 5 solutions. It's the Pareto principle. 20% of actions create 80% of results. Your brain instinctively hunts for that 20%. This is why strategic thinkers appear lazy to people who measure productivity by hours worked instead of impact created. Archimedes said, "Give me a lever long enough and I'll move the world." He wasn't promoting hard work. He was promoting smart work. Find the right leverage point, and effort becomes irrelevant. A single well-placed domino can knock down another domino 1.5 times its size. Chain that effect, and the 13th domino could knock over something as tall as the Eiffel Tower. That's leverage. Chess grandmasters don't calculate every possible move. They recognize patterns and find the one move that changes everything. So when someone tells you to just work harder, remind them that working smarter means finding the one move that makes 10 others unnecessary. That's not lazy. That's strategy. That's high-return thinking. Stress reduction. You don't overcommit. You avoid taking on extra tasks. You say no to things that don't feel essential. People think you're not ambitious enough or that you lack drive. In reality, you're protecting your nervous system from chronic overload. Laziness acts like a built-in circuit breaker. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, the hormone that damages memory, weakens immunity, and accelerates aging. Overachievers push through this constantly, treating stress as a badge of honor. Lazy people hit a natural limit. When effort exceeds value, they stop. That's not weakness. That's self-regulation. Studies show people who pace themselves and take regular breaks maintain lower baseline cortisol and report better long-term mental health. Your laziness is your body saying, "We're not doing this." The Japanese have a word, karoshi, death from overwork. It's a recognized medical condition where people literally work themselves to death. Documented cases include people collapsing at their desks after consecutive 100-hour work weeks. Your refusal to grind yourself into dust? That's survival instinct, not character failure. You're not avoiding success, you're avoiding a hospital bed. Stress literally shrinks your hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and learning. Next time someone says you need to hustle harder, remember that your internal brake system is keeping you alive. Stress is optional. Your laziness knows that. Creative problem solving. You refuse to do things the hard way. You sit there staring at a problem, looking for any option besides the obvious, tedious solution. People think you're stalling or avoiding work. Wrong. When you refuse brute force methods, your brain switches into innovation mode. Laziness is a creativity catalyst. When faced with a tedious task, hardworking people just start grinding. Lazy people rebel. And that rebellion forces lateral thinking. Your brain hates wasted effort, so it explores alternatives. Automation, delegation, elimination, simplification. This is how most inventions happen. Someone was too lazy to keep doing something manually. The wheel, the printing press, the internet, all born from there's got to be an easier way. The TV remote control was invented because Eugene Pauly got tired of walking across the room to change channels. That's it. Laziness created one of the most used devices in history. The dishwasher? Invented by Josephine Cochrane because she was tired of servants chipping her fine china. Necessity might be the mother of invention, but laziness is definitely the father. Even the luggage wheel wasn't invented until 1970 because nobody wanted to keep carrying heavy suitcases anymore. So when you're avoiding the proper way to do something, you're not being difficult, you're problem solving. That creative solution? That only exists because you were too lazy to do it the boring way. Innovation is just laziness with better marketing.